Hello?
What's up, What's up? What's your real name, man? Because you keep coming up here changing your name.
Hassan. I just put him because he's the first day of Ramadan. I put Ramadan 2026.
Oh.
Thank you for spending Ramadan with us.
Yeah.
Hey, how you know it's the first day of Ramadan? Because the Muslims are split as to when the first day is.
Yeah, in Egypt, they say one day.
Guys, he's a Quran only.
Quran only.
So how does he really know?
No, from the lunar calendar. From the lunar calendar. We can prove it from the Quran.
I know, but the Muslims have the same lunar calendar and they split on which day Ramadan is first.
Because they do it from like what it says in Saudi Arabia specifically. They don't go by what it says for where they actually live. You know what I mean?
They go by studying the moon.
Yeah.
So if the scholars in Saudi Arabia cite the moon on one day, then that's when. Then same in Egypt. They have different right now.
Different days.
Well, they take authority from outside the Quran. I'm not sure exactly like how they do.
How do you know that Ramadan starts today? Then how do you know?
Yeah, how do you as a Quran only follow people who don't follow the Quran?
Yeah, moon sighting. We go by the 9th month of the lunar calendar.
Yeah, but
there's no calendar in the Quran though. So how do you know?
Yeah, the lunar calendar. We go by the lunar calendar.
Yeah, but they're going by the lunar calendar too. And
I don't know how they deviated. Well, I don't know what they did.
How do we know you didn't deviate though? That's what we want to know.
2189.
So 2189 is your calendar.
No.
So which day? Tomorrow? A day after?
And 2189 when it says, hold on.
Yeah, we know what it says.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you what date in 2026 to fast. And if you don't fast the first day properly, you know, if you break the fast on the first day, you're sinful. If you
God's not going to punish me for being God's not going to punish me for being one day off.
How you know? No, wait. How you know? How you know God's not going to punish you?
God is the most merciful. We go by the resources that I'm given.
But he's also al-Muntaqim. He's also the most vengeful. How you know which one you're going to
be vengeful today, merciful tomorrow? How do you know?
Well, he's not going to punish me for being a Trinitarian either because he's the most merciful.
There you go.
No. Shirk is the unforgivable sin. Look,
we're just playing with you just to show the reality of Quran only Muslim is.
We'll go over. We also appeal to the authority of the messenger of the covenant, Dr. Rashad Khalifa. David, have you ever heard about Rashad Khalifa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got killed, didn't he?
He was blessed with martyrdom, just like previous messengers, right? In 287, it says messengers were killed when God kept sending them the Jews, the Beni Israel, they were killing them.
Yeah, so he was expelled from Egypt. He came to America. Got killed.
What religion was the person who killed him? Just for everyone to know.
He was a Sunni. He was a Muslim. He was a Muslim terrorist.
That's sad, man.
Sent by the Saudi Arabian government. Yeah.
So Rashid Khalifa is a messenger after Muhammad.
Messenger, yeah. Muhammad's the final prophet, but not the final messenger.
Gotcha.
Man, you're so gone, man. I'm sorry.
How? Hold on. So
you got your face up there and everything, man.
Yeah, are you afraid that someone after you too?
Pray for me.
Yeah, we will pray for you.
Yeah. So David Wood. Yeah. What do you know about Rashad Khalifa?
We don't care about Rashad Khalifa. We care about we care about how Muhammad's demon possessed, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you know what's funny? Yeah. I think you guys mentioned this. The Quran says that the disbelievers, they say that the prophet was bewitched, right? And the people who wrote the hadith says that he was bewitched. Disbelievers.
You know, it was Aisha, right? You think Aisha is an unbeliever then? Because the narrative.
No, he doesn't even probably believe.
Look, let me tell you something, right? I want the Muslims to hear this too.
Talk to him.
Yeah. If Aisha hold on.
Yeah, let me give you a big screen. Hold on, let me expand you, man. Talk to him.
Oh man.
If Aisha actually said all that nonsense, she is going to hell, no doubt.
Whoa.
That's right. That's true.
Guess what? The Noah's wife and Lot's wife, they were both disbelievers. So just because you're the wife of the prophet does not mean anything.
Oh.
She's not your mother. But
You heard it here, everyone.
Well, the thing is, like my literal mother, right? She if she's a disbeliever, she's still my mother, right?
So is she your spiritual mother?
But the Quran says Muhammad's wives are the mothers of the
believers.
Yeah.
But even like if my mom, if she's a polytheist, let's say she's a Hindu or something, she's still my mother, but not a believer. You know what I mean?
Aisha's your mother or no?
Yeah, but even if she's he's pointing out, even if she's not a believer.
Yeah, I don't think she said that stuff though. I don't believe she said that stuff, but I'm just saying if.
So if she said it, she's still your mother, but she's just a very bad mother going to hell.
You believe that? You believe in him having a wife named Aisha?
The Quran doesn't say, but like if you had a wife named Aisha who walked and breathed, right? I got no problem with that.
So yeah, you don't know who his wives were.
Doesn't matter.
You just know he had wives.
Yeah. The Quran says he had wives. Right?
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
This is very interesting, man.
Mhm.
So how you said that chapter 2 verse 189 tells you which how to find the day of Ramadan to fast?
Well, it says, they say, yes, adunaka, or I'll use in English. In English says, they ask you, Prophet, about the phases of the moon, say they are means for people to determine time and pilgrimage.
Okay.
How does that help you know when the first day of Ramadan is?
So what we were saying was that all the Muslims are using the lunar calendar. In Egypt, they use the lunar calendar. Saudi Arabia, they use the lunar
I'm not
calendar.
sure.
They both have different dates for when Ramadan starts. There's like a war with their scholars.
They're both following that same verse you're doing, and they came back with different days.
Uh-huh.
So how do we know that you have the right day?
Well, the thing is, because I appeal to the authority of the messenger of the covenant.
But he didn't tell you what the first day of Ramadan is.
Well, he told us how to calculate. I mean, he told us how to calculate properly.
But they are going by those calculations too. So we want to know, how do you know? How do you know you're the right one?
I don't know exactly how they end up differently, but I think they go by like the Saudi Arabian, like the Saudi Arabian sightings, and they just go off. Let's say Saudi Arabia, their sightings is this, so everybody started off this day. But no, you got to go by your own sightings for your own country.
You don't find it weird that your religion tells you to fast according to something in the sky?
Something in the sky according to the moon sightings?
Yeah,
That's not
the moon is just because people who worship the sun and the moon, they go by what they do to tell them what you do down here. You don't think that's weird?
No,
You don't think that's weird?
no, going by the moon sightings.
You don't think that your life being run by the moon is a bit pagan?
My life is not run by the moon.
It tells you when to fast, with book to fast.
Who controls the moon? God, right? And obviously, we might differ on who that God is, but we know it's the Lord of the universe.
But God doesn't tell me to go by what the sun's doing to do something, to worship Him. I can pray to Him past any time.
We'll go by the lunar calendar, just like when God talks about the months, right? If you go to the lunar calendar, it might not say September, October, November, December, but it's still.
So you're okay with not knowing when Ramadan really starts?
I know. Look, if I'm a day off is nothing. I'm going to.
But you're just saying you're a day off because like you're lining it up with what like Saudi Arabia. How do you know that they're not like a month off? How do you know they're like a month off? You don't know.
Well,
if they were so wrong about the Sunnah in the tradition of Muhammad, if they were so wrong about that, how do you know they're not like? Because you're saying okay, there could be a day off or something. How do you know they're like a month or 6 months off? How do you know?
Well, we go by the lunar calendar, and I
You
go.
keep saying that, but they're all going by the lunar calendar.
you do know that it's obligatory fasting. It's not a day off like it's voluntary. It's sinful if you don't fast the right day, and you have to make it up if you
make it up. Yeah,
you have to make it up.
on a random day.
Yeah, it depends on which Quran you read. You gotta make it up.
Yeah. So there's 30 different Qur'ans, right? They're not. Oh, it's qira'at. It's just different recitations. No, that's all BS.
Oh, okay. So what's the real Quran then?
The Hafs is the closest one to what the Prophet Muhammad.
How do you know that?
Through code 19.
How do you know that?
The code 19, bro.
Code 19.
Code 19 only works.
Oh, yeah. The code.
Oh.
So code 19, it's a supernatural coding system in the Quran that proves that it's from God.
So who told you that? Your Quran only. Does the Quran say anything about the number 19?
Yeah, in chapter 74, 30 through 31, it says over it is 19.
You know, it's talking about hell. That verse is talking about hell.
Keep reading. It says we have made their number. So we have made their number, which is 19, as 5 specific functions. One of them is showing to people that the Quran is from God, or showing that.
Yeah, hold on. But wait. So
the verse is talking about how many.
Wait. So does that only work in Hafs? Does the 19 only work in Hafs?
Yeah, Hafs is the closest. You still see like the patterns or like the.
So
you see something in the other ones.
You're saying there's still room for error. So is there some error in Hafs?
No. I mean, well, look, there are.
He had extra verses in Surah 9.
Exactly.
Yeah. He didn't add anything. Are you talking about Rashad?
No, not Khalifa. We're talking about Hafs. Hafs has the two verses that Khalifa took away.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So yeah, chapter 9, 128. If you read it in the Arabic, the messenger is called Ra'uf and Rahim, right? And this is what God is called in 8 different verses. So this is a good argument. Yeah, this is a good argument for you guys to use against the Muslims.
No, we do that, but doesn't that make he calls himself a submitter? So we get you, and that theologically is messed up. However, the question is this: Hafs has those 2 verses there.
I know.
Rashad Khalifa takes them out.
Yeah, because they were part of the revelation.
Right. So Hafs is messed up. His Quran is messed up, right?
But without those 2 verses, the structure is full, and we prove that it's from God. Because 920 is a huge problem.
So then the Hafs version can't be true then because it has those two verses that knocks out code 19.
And we also use the oldest manuscripts as well. We have the Birmingham.
I don't think
that doesn't help you. That's like 54 verses. That doesn't help you.
It's not enough verses.
Birmingham?
Show any pattern.
So you follow the point. You're saying that Hafs is the closest. I said, what do you mean by closest? Is there still room for error? You said, no, there's no error. But then it's pointed out that the last two verses of chapter 9.
Well, minus those. Minus
Without
the few verses.
Minus the okay, that's gonna go in the red book. I don't know about that.
You can't minus from your book.
I'm not taking them out. I'm not taking them out.
Hey, we need a submitter red book. A submitter red book.
Man 128. The messenger is called Ra'uf and Rahim. This is one of God's names in the Quran.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's the Quran's problem.
Use it against the Muslims. Use it against the Muslims. Yeah, use it against.
We're using it against the Semitters too.
Against the Semitters?
Yes.
But we don't believe in those verses. They're never part of the revelation.
So also, then you have a corrupted Quran.
It's not corrupted. The Quran is preserved in the master tablet. But obviously, the physical handheld Quran can easily be corrupted. Like if I add 2 pages to the Bible.
So you just said the Quran's corrupted.
No, not the The Quran's preserved in the master tablet, but
the Quran we have here.
The handheld Quran, which is just the Mus'haf, it's just ink and paper.
Okay, so the handheld Quran, is it corrupted?
Yeah. The handheld, it is. It's just ink and paper, but the Quran that
I know it's ink. I know it's ink and paper. I can see it. Is it corrupted or not?
Check this out.
Are you going to show us the Quran? No, we've never seen the Quran before.
I know what it is.
You better not rip the Quran. We don't condone it.
People to that Quran. If you have the last 2 verses of chapter 9, will you rip those?
Yeah, take them off. Take them out.
The last 2 verses, they're not part of the revelation. Look,
if you have the last 2 verses of chapter 9 in your Quran, will you rip those?
Huh? I'll just take them out. Yeah, I'll just.
Okay, we need to see you ripping them in front of David Wood.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah,
we like you, man.
If you have the last 2 verses in chapter 9, you have to rip them in front of David Wood.
And then you'll have it perfect. Your pattern won't have any.
Chapter 9.
Don't, just beware. We're gonna dox you after.
I came on. I didn't use my name intentionally.
I got a guy.
You put your face on.
I got a guy.
Yeah, Malik. Yes. Who did it? Malik did. Who did?
Yes.
You're ripping chapter 9.
Say this is for Malik.
This is not what I'm here to do. But like, this is not.
But it's not the Quran, though. It's Quran. It's not the Quran,
right? But I do want to show you something as well.
So it's not the Quran, so you can take it out.
Yeah, it's only ink and paper. It's not
part of the revelation.
Yeah, it's not part of the revelation. So what's it doing?
I have the English one in front of me, though. I have the English one in front of me.
Okay.
Cool with you?
I don't know. David, he's the master.
Arabic. Only the Arabic matters.
Only the Arabic.
Yeah, only the Arabic.
I have one on me right now.
It's okay, man. It's okay. So the point that we're getting at is that even as a submitter who's distinct from the Muslims.
Yes. It's not a satanic religion, bro. It's a satanic religion. The Muslims, they worship Muhammad, they worship Bukhari,
they do.
They do. Scholars, the Arabic.
They do.
Yeah.
All right. And so here's the issue is that so you have your Quran from Rashad Khalifa, who they unalived and got rid of. Hold on, let me get this guy out of here, man.
Just like Jesus. Jesus got crucified for the Jews. They want to kill him, right?
Yeah. So
Muhammad, the Quraysh wanted to kill him.
So with your Quran, your Quran has verses that were taken out, and without these with these verses in there, the code 19 doesn't work, does it?
Well, not only that, but it also makes Muhammad God, basically.
And it makes Muhammad God. So number one, so with these with the entire other world of Muslims outside of the Semitters, they have these corrupted Qurans.
They have 30 versions. No, sorry, over 30 versions.
Yeah, all of them have these verses.
I know.
Yeah, and so all of these verses make Muhammad.
There's over 30 versions of the Quran.
Yeah, and they're not recitations. The Warsh, Khalaf,
and all of these versions make Muhammad God, correct?
Well, they all have those 2 verses, yeah.
So they're not accents. They're not.
It's intentional. Also, isn't it convenient?
Right?
Hold on, hold on. But isn't it? It's not just accents. No, it's not just accents. But isn't it convenient that the only chapter in the whole entire Quran that's missing God's signature is chapter 9? God didn't sign off on it intentionally.
Yeah. Do you know why that is? According to Muslims,
Yeah,
scholars say the reason why that is because they didn't know if chapter 8 was ending at chapter 8 or was beginning at chapter 9. They didn't know. So Ashankriti says that that's the best explanation, that the early companions of
That's not what
Muhammad,
the Sunnis say.
yeah, that's what the Sunnis say. That the companions didn't know when they were compiling the Quran. They didn't know whether to separate chapter 8. Like they didn't know whether there's a part of it or not.
So stupid. No.
So what's the reason then? What's the reason?
That's what the Sunni scholars say.
According to
I know. So God, He flagged chapter 9 for us because it was the only chapter that was going to be tampered with in terms of those two verses.
So you're saying chapter 9 is tampered with?
With those two verses, but now, khalas, it's purified now. It's purified.
Who purified it? Wait, who?
Khalifa,
God through the messenger of the covenant.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about the chapter 9 thing?
Just really quick, how do you know that he was right for taking those verses out? Where in the Quran does it say that those verses don't belong?
Well, for one, in chapter 6:12 and chapter 6:54, God says that mercy is His attribute. It's not Muhammad's attribute.
How do you know that? How do you know it's not? It says that He's merciful in the verse. How do you know? So the Quran is saying that Muhammad does have the attribute of mercy.
No, 9:128. No, that's not God's revelation. Look, the reason I can't.
Yeah, based on what is my question? My question is based on what? Where does the Quran tell you that 9:128 and 129 are not revelation of Allah?
The messenger did, and we have proof for that because Code 19 without the two.
You're going outside of the Quran.
No, hold on. Okay,
look. Now you're. Hold on.
Inside the Quran. Inside. I got you.
Okay, so where in the Quran does it tell you that 9:120? And I know John News, he got to go pretty soon, and David, we're gonna wrap up with this.
Can I talk to David though, like before?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're gonna go through Avery first.
Ramadan 2026. If you actually want to, if there's something you want to discuss with me and so on, let me know what you want to talk about. We'll set up a live stream on it.
Of course. Yeah.
Awesome. So in the Quran, and I'll let you answer. And I won't fight you back on this because we got to end this. Okay, but
there's 5 more. It's a few more minutes.
Sure. So in the Quran, where does it tell you that 9:128 and 29 are not revelation of Allah? That they are verses that don't belong.
Yeah. So judging by the content of 9:128 in the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad, he was commanded to say that he has no power to benefit himself or anybody else. So if he is Ra'uf and Rahim, that means that he has the power, because it says 9:120 says most merciful, most kind. That's what Ra'uf and Rahim means, most merciful, most kind to the believers. It doesn't say to the believers of his time. So that would mean that Muhammad is still benefiting me or the people today. It's not true.
I won't fight you on that because I got to end it. I do have rebuttals, but I like what you did there.
Yeah, but what I want to show you though, what I want to show you is
I don't got time for you to show me nothing, Hassan.
It's not for you. No, I'm just saying to answer one of your questions. It was for Jay and Doc.
What question?
So like when you say also that the handheld Quran's corrupted, well, let me ask you this: if I take an Arabic Quran or a Bible and I add one extra page to it, is it corrupted now, or is it just the physical text that's corrupted?
I was asking you.
That's what we wanted to know, because you were the one saying Hafs is the one that's closest to Muhammad's Quran.
So let's say if I take this piece of paper, right, and then I add it into the Quran, right, and same size, same text, same everything. Is the Quran corrupted now, or is it just a physical text? Same with the Bible.
Well, it says it's a verse with a number and Sadaqallahu al-Azim at the end of it. So Muslims are saying to us this is preserved. So I'm asking you, what's your evidence?
Which one? Ask them which one. Yeah, Code 19 is our evidence. But for them,
which Quran is preserved is the question.
Hafs is the most closest one. We have access to the Quran of the Master Tablet through Code 19.
Okay.
It's the closest, but it's not exactly correct.
It's the closest through like.
But not exactly, right?
But not exactly as the tablets in heaven, right?
What I want to do, you remember Abdullah, the submitter, right?
No, forget it, brother. Answer the question, Hassan. Slow down and answer the question. Yeah. Does Hafs match the preserved tablet of the Quran in heaven?
Without the two verses, and even
no, stop saying without. Hafs as it is, does it match the Quran in heaven? Yeah, through Code 19, yeah.
Okay. Wait.
Without the verses that are in it, though. Hey, focus, man.
Sorry. Someone's watching.
It's okay. I gotta wrap it up.
All right.
Thanks for coming. All right. Hey, look, David is gonna have you on, bro. David will have you on.
Hey,
he'll let you cook all the Sunnis, man. Trust me.
He just destroyed Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't believe it. He says Islam is a satanic religion.
Yeah, he does. He says that.
He's got a point there. He's got a point.
He's got a huge point.
He do have a point.